What's the plan?
To lift that 6x6 with supports, and hopefully we lift it up and we'll be able to rest a second and lift it up and rest and get it pushed up there.
Good morning. Today is an exciting day. We have the rough cut lumber that is going to support the roof over our covered porch and the deck as well. So the question is how to get these giant pieces of lumber into place. They are 6x6s. The longest one is how long?
18 feet.
The longest one is 18 feet long. They are green because they were just cut, so they're very heavy, somewhere between 200 and 300 pounds. We do have a bit of help today in the form of my mom and my aunt. So no, we don't have a lot of muscle, but we do have people, and we're going to try to come up with a plan to defy gravity without hurting somebody. What's the plan?
To lift that 6x6 with supports, and hopefully we lift it up and we'll be able to rest a second and lift it up and rest and get it pushed up there. Okay. So you and I are the strongest ones. I'm gonna have Mom come on down. This board here is on a hinge. So I'm gonna have you get on the other end of that board and just keep it up off the ground until we get hopefully get the post vertical. And then you'll put this 2x4 down in the ground to help keep it from going more that direction.
Number one rule, don't get hurt.
Yeah, so while we're lifting,
Run fast.
well, while we're lifting, if we're losing control of something, just let it go that way and you go that way.
You go that way, it goes that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Not toward.
No, it'll.
Where did Dale go?
And let's see, and then Jill is going to take a 2x4 while we lift.
Okay.
If we can get it high enough, she can
and
get the 2x4 underneath
Yes.
it so we can rest if we need
Okay.
to. Okay, so you and I are going to lift, hopefully.
Okay.
I hope it will slide in. Are you under,
don't-
Jill?
Well, yes, but every time you move it, I am not under it again.
Yeah, just rest a second. So you're under it perpendicular, right, Jill? Close to it?
I am, but I'm not confident about the other end that's on the ground, you know?
Don't
It's
worry
well
about the ground
positioned
side.
up there, but I'm not sure how well positioned it is on the ground.
Do you think it's gonna?
And I'm on the wrong side of this board for our
That-
rule.
The metal looks
Then
like
move.
it's higher up.
Yeah.
I wonder if we
Yeah.
need to put something under the bottom of it.
Yes. Okay, so you need like maybe 5-10 more degrees. Oh, it's looking pretty good now.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now we need to check plumb again, Jill.
Without falling down the hill.
The tree.
It's looking much better.
It's pretty darn close.
Yeah,
Okay, leave yours in the ground for now.
nice.
Okay, so you want to come hold this again?
Okay.
And what we're doing is holding it this way where that bubble is level.
Holy moly, it actually worked. And this was the biggest one. Yay!
I'm so glad we could do that. We got the 5 columns up I need to finish the deck. And once the deck's done, I can work off the deck to go higher. So,
And talk a little bit about those other columns that have to go through the deck.
there's 3 more columns that need to go up, but they're going to have to be pushed up vertical on the deck and then lowered into the hole in the deck.
So we'll save those for later.
Yeah, we'll probably need another guy to help do that.
But you can build the deck with these.
Yes, I'm going to build the whole deck. And then these will all be very stable.
By the end of that third day, we had a whole new deck, and I'm not sure if the camera captures quite how big it feels. The new section is 10 feet deep and 16 feet wide, and the columns look tall even when you're standing on top of the deck. Charles is not completely sure yet exactly how he's going to get the roof beams all the way up there, but for now we're trying to take it one step at a time. So that's exciting progress on the deck extension, but you may be wondering, what's happening with the rocket mass heater that's supposed to keep us warm this winter? So here's the situation. We can probably fire it up and test it out as soon as we have a cold day, which may be pretty soon. To be completely finished, the bench will need a smooth layer of clay and some linseed oil on top of that. But Charles is holding off on that because he's actually been standing on top of the bench to cover the heat shield behind it with lime plaster. We hope this will make the heat shield less of an eyesore. It will still be light gray, but the measuring grid and the HardieBacker branding at least will be covered up. When Charles did his research to find out whether you can put lime plaster on cement board, he found videos of people who had tried that only to have the plaster crumble right off again afterward. Apparently, because the thirsty HardieBacker sucked the moisture right out of the plaster too quickly. The recommended solution is to use a primer first, and the primer ingredients are basically the same as an all-purpose or PVA glue. So before Charles started plastering, he bought some glue and watered it down and painted it on. He used 4 parts water for every 1 part glue, but he didn't really want me to tell you that because we don't know yet how it's going to hold up. So please do wait for us to report back before trying this at home. You can hardly see the glue after it dries, but we hope it's an effective moisture barrier because this is not his favorite job. Each layer goes on very thin, so he's still working at it, and you'll have to watch a future episode to see how it turns out. Meanwhile, we do have some progress to report on the radiant floor heat. This story begins a few weeks ago when we got a 5-gallon bucket of antifreeze in the mail, and we tried to get it into the pipes under the floor.
Getting ready to fill the floor with antifreeze.
The plan here was to put a bit of fluid into the system to prime the pump. Then the pump would hopefully suck up the rest of the fluid from the pan on the floor until the system was completely full. But to make a long story short, it did not work. So what are your thoughts about what just happened?
Well, my thoughts are it's not going through the pump.
So we thought this was going to be a fun project, putting the antifreeze into the floor. Turns out it's not so fun, and Charles is about to detach the pump because we really need to make sure that it works.
It's pumping water.
So he put the system back together, and we just kept adding fluid until the tubes were pretty much full. But without a self-priming pump, we couldn't quite top off the system and get it going. Charles has ordered a $12 piece of equipment to hopefully solve this problem, but it won't be here for a few days. So for now, let's get back to the deck extension. There's still a lot that has to happen for that space to be transformed into a covered porch. And the very next step would require some help from a neighbor.
We'll raise it up. See, I've got a hole here.
Yeah.
And there's cribbage down below here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it turned in here and drop it into the hole, and it'll sit on that cribbage. I got some straps here in case we need to have like handles to drop it in. And then we'll drop it onto the top of that cribbage. However we need to lift it, we'll lift it a little bit and she'll pull cribbage out, and we'll drop it a little further.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. Okay, do we want to try to do it without straps?
Yeah.
Looking good.
All right. Okay. All right, Joe, you ready to pull some out?
How many? 2?
I would probably say, how far you think we can drop it? Foot?
You mean while we're holding on to it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Pull a foot of them out.
I'm going to pull 8 inches out.
That's
I
fine.
don't want to go crazy.
Okay.
All right, they're out. Looking good. Let me get rid of these. Okay, I can do 4 more.
Okay. Go.
Okay, go ahead. I can do 3 more on the shims.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Okay.
So like 2 inches at a time?
A little more. 2.5. Unless you can hold it there longer,
I
in
think
which
we can
case...
hold it a second or two if you want to pull a couple of those out.
All right, I can do that.
A couple layers.
Yep.
Okay. Go.
Okay. It's gonna drop a while.
Before I didn't have a good grip, but now I think we can hold that.
Okay.
So take about a foot's worth out.
Yep.
Ready?
Okay. Go ahead.
The 2 layers there.
2 and the 2x4s.
Okay.
That's what I did last time.
Okay. Go. We'll get rid of both those this time.
And then I'm gonna kneel down and help you. Okay.
And yeah, and push it the way it needs to go, and we'll
Yep.
try to give you that. All right?
All right. 1, 2.
Up slow.
Okay, lower slowly. Looking good. Okay, perfect.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Which way I wanted that to go in?
Uh-oh. Hey, Charles, can you fix the camera up there so it's aiming at you?
Oh, crap. I forgot all about that.
Oh, you have to cut the board, the pillar.
Yeah, we're going to have to set it back down.
I saw that, but I just assumed that like you don't make mistakes. I should have said something earlier.
All right, go ahead and let it back down. Okay, I need to figure out which side's which and then go get my saw.
So it turns out that the corner of the column actually needs to be trimmed to be able to fit in this hole.
All right, back up. There, all right. One, two, three, go.
Okay.
One, two, three.
1. Getting rid of the others. Okay. Okay, there we go. We're good. That's 2 posts down the hole and 1 more to go, but only after the first beam goes up. So while I was at work, Charles measured and cut the ends off the posts, and he managed to film that part. But then he also had Graham come back and help put up the first beam and get the tallest pole into place. And they did that off camera. So the only thing I know for sure is that my roll under the yurt was replaced with a jack and a lot of running back and forth. So Charles, what's your new trick up your sleeve?
Well, what I'm going to try is to pump fluid out of the bucket and into the system with a pump run by a drill.
You've already met the red pump, which circulates the antifreeze through the pipes. And here Charles is hooking up the temporary drill pump that's helping us top off the system with fluid. But we haven't talked about the green pump lately. That one will suck fluid through a copper pipe in the heat exchanger, so it picks up heat from another pipe full of hot water from the on-demand hot water heater. At least that's how the system will work when we're using propane instead of burning wood in the rocket mass heater. So the drill is off now and the other pump is on, and we're trying to figure out if it's actually circulating the fluid.
142 degrees coming out of the tank. 1.5 gallons per minute.
And we're just going to wait for the floor to get warm.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, Jill from the future here. Happy to report that the radiant floor system really did work, and we look forward to putting it through more tests in the future. We also look forward to seeing you the first Saturday of every month. That's obnoxious.